Well, hello. You find me wandering around the streets of Canterbury for a few days at the moment. This is actually where my photography journey began many, many years ago, because Canterbury Art College is where I studied photography and graphic communications. For that course, I'd saved up and bought myself a second-hand Nikon camera and a 50mm prime. Well, 50mm was all I could afford back then. That was the cheapest lens, and that's all I used for many, many years. And I shot black and white film. It was a manual film camera. So I'm getting all nostalgic. And what I'm actually doing is shooting black and white again. And it's become an addiction because I'm so used to shooting bright, saturated, colourful images for publications and brands. It's quite refreshing to go back to my roots. Black and white was all I did for years. I spent many hours in dark rooms developing and printing, and I realised I miss it. I don't see the interest in shooting black and white film these days. Far more convenient to shoot digital, but I guess if you haven't done it before, it's a novelty. So I'm actually in Canterbury primarily because one of my best friends is getting married here, and they've asked me to do the photography, and I've never shot a wedding. We'll go this way. I've never shot a wedding before, ever. And I said to myself I would never ever do one. I've got two cameras, one with a 28mm lens and one with an 85mm lens. And I think that's all I'm going to need. And for those that know better, that shoot weddings, you're probably going to tell me, no, I need something else, but hey, I'm going to do it my way. So we'll see. As I wander around the streets, camera in hand, I'm wondering, is this street photography? I'm looking for interesting moments to photograph, interesting things, interesting situations that people might be in. I think street photography is a very generic term. I don't live here. I'm wandering around shooting things that interest me. That's more like travel photography to me, or documentary photography. But I guess we call it street photography now, so that's what we'll call it then. I don't actually have a project, have a purpose. I'm just sort of wandering aimlessly, and I'm looking for inspiration actually. I don't usually do this. I usually have a reason for going out, but I'm sure I'll figure it out. To do street photography, or whatever you want to call it, you need people, and there aren't any because it's 7 o'clock in the morning and everybody's still in bed. At least all the tourists are, that will pack these streets in a few hours. So I think it's time to go back to the hotel for breakfast and come out later. Quite possibly my favourite photo of the day so far is the shot that I've just taken through the window of a tea shop. Two ladies having their afternoon tea. And the reason why I took that shot is because of the positioning of the teapot on the windowsill. It just caught my eye and it made me ask, why is that there? I just found it very intriguing. So if I'd have taken that shot without the teapot there, if it was just on the table, there's nothing unusual about that. So it would have been a really boring shot, a sort of a pointless shot, which is something I've been thinking a lot about lately with street photography on social media, and particularly YouTube. There's just a lot of boring, pointless photos with no skill, no reason for existing, just randomly shot from the waist as people are walking along. I don't get it. A good photo, street photo or any kind of photo, needs to have some sort of point to it, some sort of story. And with street photography, I mean, there needs to be something humorous about it, something ironic, something that shocks you, something that makes you think at least and feel something, not just some random shot without any thought, created by luck. Although, if you can do that and create an interesting, compelling story, then that's good. But most of this stuff that I'm seeing isn't. It's rubbish. Anyway, that's just my opinion, and I thought I'd share it because it is my channel, and I can share my opinions on my channel. I'd like to know what you think. Maybe I'm just being too critical. Well, I figured out my project, my assignment that I'm giving myself today, and that's to do a little study of all these rowboats on the river. I've been watching them and photographing them for a while, and it's actually quite interesting just seeing the different types of people and their expressions and how some are enjoying it and some aren't. It's interesting how a bunch of strangers can get on a little boat, a little space together, and how they interact. That's been really fascinating to watch. So hopefully I've captured a little bit of that. My little photo excursion is now over. I've got to head back, change, go to this wedding and be a wedding photographer, pretend to be anyway. If I think there are any half-decent photos that I take this afternoon and this evening, I'll post them now so you can, well, probably laugh actually at what I do in terms of wedding photography for my very first time. Anyway, I really do appreciate you watching, and see you next time.